Hi boys and girls, I wanted to show you a couple of math examples before you start your work today. We're going to be working with customary units of length today. Customary units of measurement are the most commonly used units in the United States. And the types or units of length that we're going to be talking about today are feet, inches, yards, and miles. So those are things that we're going to need to be familiar with. Something that I also want to go over before we start, these conversions of measurement are going to be on the slides for you to use, but you're also going to need to work on trying to memorize them as we use them more often. I just wanted to go over the abbreviations for these units of measurement. So if you see FT, they're talking about feet. If you see IN, they are referring to inches. YD, they're referring to yards. And MI, they're referring to miles. So if you do see these abbreviations today, that is what they are referring to and asking you to solve. Something that you may see today on your practice buddy is they're going to probably give you a unit, so 2 miles, and then they're going to ask you how many units it's equal to for a different unit of measure. So 2 miles equals blank yards. So I'm going to look back at my slides, or if you wanted to write these down on a piece of paper to have at home, that might also be a good idea. And I'm looking for conversions from miles to yards. So, okay, I see 1 mile equals 1,760 yards. So if I know 1 mile equals 1,760 yards, how can I figure out 2 miles? If this equals 1 mile, in order to find 2 miles, I can multiply by 2. Okay, there is how you would find how many yards it's equal to. So 2 miles equals 3,520 yards. Something else you may see today is they can give you a fraction or part of a whole to convert. 1/3 of a foot equals blank inches. So when we think about 1/3 as part of a whole, and we think about a ruler, and knowing that this ruler equals 12 inches, we know 1 foot is 12 inches, so the whole ruler is a foot, it equals 12 inches. If I split it up into 3 equal parts, how many would one of them be? Well, I know that 12 divided into 3 parts equals 4. So if each piece was 4 inches, that would equal 12 inches together. And I just want one part, 1/3. So I know that 1/3 of a foot equals 4 inches. I found that by dividing 12 divided by 3 because there's 3 parts. And then I took one of the parts, so 4 inches. On the practice buddy, they may also throw in a mixed number problem. So we have to think back to what we knew about fractions and mixed numbers. 4 2/3 yards equals blank feet. So our best bet is to break up this mixed number after we find what measurement fact will help us. So we need yards to feet. I see 1 yard equals 3 feet. Okay, so if we decide that we're going to break down 4 2/3, if 1 yard equals 3 feet, then 4 yards, 4 times 3 would equal 12. So 4 yards equals 12 feet. And then I still need to figure out this 2/3 of a yard. So I know that a yard is equal to 3 feet. So I need to split it up. So if we think 1 yard equals 3 feet, and I need to split this into 3 pieces, they would each equal 1 foot, because 3 divided by 3 equals 1. And I need 2/3, so 2 of the pieces, 1, 2, would equal 2 feet. So 2/3 of a yard equals 2 feet. I know 4 yards equals 12 feet. I need to combine those parts, so 12 feet plus 2 feet equals 14 feet. So 4 2/3 yards equals 14 feet. I also wanted to talk to you about some word problems before you begin. An example of a word problem that you may see today is Lou cuts 3 yards from a 9-yard roll of fabric. Then he cuts 4 feet from the roll. How many feet of fabric are left on the roll? So when you're reading a word problem, it's going to be very important that you look and see what units of measurement you're using. So use your cube strategy to look through and check the numbers in units. I see we're using yards. Then we're using feet, and the question is asking how many feet are left. So the first thing I would think is I'm going to look at my conversions, and I notice that we have one for yards and feet. 1 yard equals 3 feet. So first of all, he's cutting 3 yards of fabric. The question is asking us about feet, so I'm going to go ahead and convert that to feet. 1 yard equals 3 feet, so 3 yards equals 9 feet. Then it says that he has a 9-yard roll of fabric, so the whole roll of fabric together is 9 yards. But I need to know how many feet that is. So again, I'm going to go back and say 1 yard equals 3 feet. So 9 yards, 9 times 3 equals 27 feet. Then he cuts 4 feet. Well, that's already in the unit feet and we do not need to change it. How many feet of fabric are left on the roll? Okay, let's think this through. He starts out with 9 yards, which is 27 feet. He's cutting off 9 feet of it. 27 minus 9, take your time to think about that. We're going to need to regroup. Okay, he has 18 feet now. Then he cuts 4 more feet off. How many feet of fabric are left on the roll? 14 feet of fabric are left on the roll, so that is exactly how you would solve that. You're not going to be able to solve these problems like this if they're using different units without converting them. So that's the reason I changed them to feet, because we need to be using the same unit of measure in order to add or subtract or multiply or divide to find our final answer, but you cannot be doing those operations without converting first. If you have questions today on your math, use the blue question help button. It will show you examples. It will let you access the 2 videos from Pearson that we use in our classroom. If you are still having trouble after you've used that resource, you've watched this video, you've used your cube strategy to identify the numbers and what the question is asking, and you're still stuck, then you're more than welcome to message Miss Pagano or Miss Daisy on Google Hangouts, but I want to see you using your resources and trying your best first. Good luck today. Try your best. You guys can do it.